Close your eyes. Picture a dog, any dog at all. Imagine the dog living a happy, healthy, normal life. Does it consist of regular meals, clean water, toys, and belly rubs? Open them. Does he look like this? Close your eyes again. Now imagine the opposite of your dog's happy, healthy, normal life. Open your eyes. This is what normal looked like for 37 dogs in Griffin, Georgia. All the dogs had ever known was hunger, lack of care, and mud.
First, I didn't think it was real. I literally reached out to some people and said, have you seen this? This can't be real. These dogs cannot be living like this.
I have never seen anything like it. I've been in rescue for 8 or 9 years. I've done puppy mill rescues. I've seen it all, or I thought I had seen it all until I went there. Around early July, I think it was like the 2nd or 3rd, I went out to the property. There were about 40 dogs, and they were all in pens that were basically aligned in like a half circle.
A lot of them were living in electric fences. I wouldn't want any type of animal to sleep in the houses they were sleeping in.
These people were keeping the dogs in the blue plastic barrels, but they were turned on their sides. The bottoms of them were cut open so the dogs could go in for some sort of shelter. But hay and mud had built up so much over the years that half the barrels were just full of dried, caked mud. Wasn't bedding, wasn't anything soft. It was dried mud.
It was awful. You couldn't even breathe. The smell. I mean, we call them the mud dogs, but that wasn't mud. There was mud, but it was just poop and urine and just it was awful. It was awful, and the dogs were up to their bellies in it. They didn't even have anything solid to stand on.
In some of the pens, the mud was 6-7 inches deep. The dogs were completely filthy. Some of their abdomens were distended, bloated just from the bacteria.
These dogs were eating with live rats in the daytime. The rats were coming out, eating their food, and the dogs had what was left over.
I was actually informed by a close family member that at one point this family had up to 70 dogs, and they all perished, whether it was parvo, dog fights, killing each other, just different things like that. And that's the only reason why they're down to about 30 to 40 dogs. I posted a urgent plea on Facebook that we had 32 dogs just living in utter squalor, deplorable conditions, and that they needed rescue immediately.
There are some people there, maybe I want to say 8 or 9 people from various different rescue organizations who just had found out about this on Facebook. So social media rocks.
The first 2 days that we were out there, we had secured either rescue, adoption, or foster for 15 dogs.
Many volunteers answered the call to get the dogs off the property, but a few very special people were kind enough to open their homes and their hearts to the mud dogs forever.
I saw Clay's picture on Facebook, actually all of the dogs' pictures, and I kind of thought I need to do something since I've been fostering. I just got my other foster adopted. I decided to take a male because I have 4 females at home, so I figured out male would be easier. Was shown his picture and I said yes, and I did not realize at the time how shut down he was. I saw that he was a little pen, completely isolated from other dogs. The pen had no doors, so he never came out. Food was thrown over the fence whenever they thought about it, right? There were walls on both sides, so he couldn't even see other dogs. He would come quite close to me, but my son or my husband, since they are males, he's afraid of them. He has no idea that he can live inside with couches and no rain and warm. I couldn't give him up. Even even if he miraculously improves and starts loving people, no, he's mine.
My name's Lori Cronin. I'm a volunteer with the Georgia SPCA, and this is Boomer, formerly known as BB, from the Griffin Mud Dogs. First time I saw Boomer, he was actually in a ball about that big. He was in his kennel, he was shaking, his eyes were shut so tight that literally you knew he was having to clench them. He hadn't eaten in 2 days, he wouldn't drink. He had no idea how to eat out of a bowl. He was so used to just having his food thrown out for him. He didn't know how to eat out of a bowl, didn't know how to drink out of a bowl. For the first day, I sat outside of his crate for 4 hours and just sat there. And then the second day I went and we took him out. And by the third day, we figured that he'd do better with other dogs, and I have dogs at home. So he's been at my house ever since. He's actually come out of his shell. He will socialize with people now, and that's thanks to Thomas and Ivana Ruwacki. Just through different interactions and socializations, we've been able to, you see the Boomer you see now.
Paula brought Hutch to our house. He was very scared, and I would say within about a week he started to open up. The coolest thing was one morning I was in the kitchen and I heard a ruckus in the family room, and there Hutch and Little Bear were just playing. And it was so neat to see that he had opened up, and he was up on the couch, and Little Bear, he had evidently kicked Little Bear off the couch and they were playing. Just little by little over the last 5 weeks, he has opened up. He's not shaking now. And then sometimes he goes, he will go a little bit in the backyard, but he's still really scared.
I was like, I can't let go of this dog. I said, she's been through enough. I said, I can't imagine the life she's led. I'm not gonna let anybody take this dog to turn around and decide they didn't want her and give her to another home. She couldn't even walk upstairs. She couldn't walk on a leash when we first got her. I didn't know why. I just thought maybe nobody had spent time with her. She was just so scared. She just was scared for you to hold her. I had to I kind of forced myself on her. I actually would take her and hold her and make her sit with me to get to understand that my petting was good. And that petting was good. I just was like having to pick her up and show her the stairs to learn how to do stairs. A leash was quite a challenge, but you'd never know today because she's happy. She's got ears that are just hilarious. Her ears are her personality. Darna, she has wound up being a gift, quite a gift. And she has no trouble now. She won't stay out of your lap.
For many of the Griffin Mud Dogs, life has changed for the better. While some lucky dogs like Clay, Boomer, Hutch, and Darla have been adopted, there are many mud dogs who still need a forever home.
This here is Gus. He's one of our Georgia Mud Dogs. He came to us and he is just a big goof. Come here, bud. He's got a lot of scarring on his face. It seems to have got a lot better since we've had him. Come here. He's always been very friendly, a little bit reserved, a little head shy when he first came to us. He didn't really like having the leash put on him or a slip lead put around his head. He's got a great appetite, loves to eat. He was a little underweight when we got him, so we put him on our lunch program so that he can bulk out a little bit. He's been neutered. He's just been a really great, happy, all-around dog. He's just looking for a home.
I contacted Lachey, who is the original person to be involved, and she said, well, the dog that I had looked at is already been adopted, but we have this wonderful, sweet male that really needs to be fostered, and it was Giddy. And I didn't even think about it. I said, sure. And I didn't know what I was doing, ever fostered. I met the person down at the Perimeter Mall, And she gave me the scared dog who had never been on a leash before, and put him in my backseat. And he was quiet the whole way in, and we got here, and it was one of the worst storms of the summer, and the lights went out. I mean, he just laid in my lap in the kitchen, shaking. Very scared of the new situation, but he's starting to get used to it. So the first couple days, he lived in the crate. I had to drag him out, carry him outside so he would go to the bathroom, and then he would go back in the crate. And about a week later, one night I was sitting on the couch and I had left his crate door open, and he came in and he came and just laid down at my feet and stayed there the whole night. And I was like, he's starting to settle in. Now he's like, he owns the chair over there. He lays in it every night and watches TV with me.
Giddy and Gus are only 2 of the Mud Dogs who still need to be adopted. If you're thinking about adopting a dog in the near future, please consider contacting one of the following rescues or shelters that are currently caring for Mud Dogs. Every dog deserves a chance to thrive in a safe, stable environment with plenty of food and water, and especially love. They don't call them man's best friend for nothing.